Okay, it's now time for the next Solo Club letter for Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. Now this one did come a bit late, Nacon, come on, you guys can do better. Anyways, this one's about the driving experience. Let's take a look at what this one has to offer, including the new upcoming playtest, which is going to happen at the end of this month. But let's get straight into this, the driving experience. Dear Solo Club members, as you saw in our last video, the Cruiser, the driving experience, and not just for racing, is a key approach to the Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. Lots of Test Drive Unlimited fans still remember the first time they got behind the wheel of a car of their dreams in their previous version, whether they were going for a spin in town or meeting up with friends on the streets of Ibiza or Oahu in TDU1 and TDU2. One of our objectives is to give you the same sensations with Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown on the streets of Hong Kong Island. In this latest Solo Club newsletter, we will take a look at how the driving experience will be shifting up a gear in TDUSC. Alright, so let's take a look at this. The first one is each car has its own physics. Car physics is a critical aspect of development. For some people, TDU2 did not meet all of its objectives. In this respect, they felt the physics were too arcade-like, even unpredictable. Yes, we all know that. As you already know, TDUSC integrates different car categories from classics to hypercar, off-roads to supercars, the Citroen 2CV to the Bugatti Chiron Sport. And it goes on to say within each category, of course, each car has its own attributes: combustion, hybrid, electric engines, traction, propulsion or four-wheel drive, turbocharger, 6, 8, 12 cylinders, all the details that make each model unique. For each car, realism was the order of day. The perfect mix so you get the best sensations whether using wheel or a controller. Don't try and pull off the perfect drift with traction, you might just end up pulling all your hair out before you can pull it off. In the same way, very few supercars are adapted to off-road driving, even if some people insist on trying. But rest assured, even if the car isn't adapted to it, you still won't go up in smoke. Each car provides you with a unique driving experience, and that's why you pick the car. In an upcoming letter, we'll be going into more detail about tuning and customization. So it looks like, well, first off, next month, hopefully it's next month and it doesn't actually get moved to December. Anyways, November, most likely we're going to be hearing more about the tuning and customization in depth for TDUSC, which I'm pretty excited to see what they have planned for that. Now, the other thing I want to point out is physics. Well, as you guys can see right here is the classic Ford Mustang, which you can actually see the weight transfer move within the suspension of the vehicle like a real old classic Mustang would drive like. And another thing I want to point out, you guys might notice that the slip curve has improved since the last Mustang clips I've been showing you. So you can see that now they've kind of gone to a more finalized version of exactly what I was saying in terms of getting that right feel of someone that's more progressive and intuitive compared to Forza Horizon. Again, that's not me bashing Forza Horizon, guys. I'm just saying compared to Forza Horizon, this game is going to feel more realistic, especially on the slip curve, because obviously Forza Horizon is the way it is because of how the audience is going to play it. TDUSC, we all know, greater connection with the car, so they're going to go that route instead, and that's totally okay. Both games are different directions for a reason. Let's continue on now. The next part is acoustic immersion. So when we think about going for a ride, the music we listen to springs to mind. As we have previously mentioned, we have been working with a wide range of music to go along with the best trips and to match your mood. There are 6 themed radio stations in TDUSC: Hip Hop Planet, Absolute Club, Indie Rock, Classic Area, World Music, and Retro FM. They each have their own DJs and jingles. Each radio station has over 10 hours of music, which you'll soon be able to check out on our social networks. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it seems we're going to be getting the full track list a little bit early on TDUSC. Maybe by the end of this year we find out. But anyways, oh my god, I'm going to butcher this name. Aurélien Baguer, audio director at KT Racing, explains the philosophy behind each radio station and how each playlist was constructed. So here we go. Here's the first quote note from the audio director working on TDUSC. So our 6 radio stations let players escape by listening to a large number of musical styles. We've worked on a music selection that ranges from classic songs to modern tracks by lesser known independent artists that players can discover while driving. In the car, the radio is like another passenger who's riding along with us and is part of the trip. When we think about cars and music, a track that we like to listen to while driving always comes to mind. The objective of TDUSC is to use a great varied playlist to be right there with you to match your mood. Whether your taste is traditional and you're more of a sharp, enjoying calm classical music while admiring the countryside, or indie rock for more exciting trips along the docks or in town, or hip hop if you're into a street style, you'll find something you like. Now, the Absolute Club, EDM, Retro FM, and World music stations add additional variety so you never get bored while driving. In TDSC, the radio adds extra identity to your journeys, which sounds pretty good so far. And moving on, the last paragraph of this is not to worry though. If you're a purist and you only want to hear the soft purr of the engine while driving, you can also turn the radio off. That's when all the work spent developing the precision of the engine sounds becomes evident, because it is a major factor in immersing yourself in a car game, especially when it comes to driving and cruising. A lot of research and design went into the KT engine so we can reproduce the specific sounds of each car model as faithfully as possible. Starting from real recordings made in different conditions, the sounds were then integrated and linked to the car's physics, so they react perfectly to what the player does and are spatialized. Basically, the sound rendering adapts to the camera in use and the environment the player is in. Players seeking maximum immersion with the interior view can even hear the hazard and indicator lights while driving. They automatically go off once you've changed direction, just like turning the car engine on and off. Hold on, they've listened. That was a feature, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, was not in the game when I first went to go see it way back in June. So they've gone ahead and added engine start stop, which let me show you guys that in action right now. Let's take a look. Yes sir, just like that. But anyways, let's move on. The game cameras. Alright, our latest The Cruiser video also generated some reaction concerning the game cameras, and in particular about the dynamism of the rear camera. The video was completely made using the static chase camera, and it's more suited for jaunts and makes it easier to see the environments. A lot of people ask about the camera's dynamism. That word sounds so wrong in my head. Dynamism? Anyways, we would like to reassure everyone that TDSC has two chase cameras, one of which is dynamic. This camera is a favorite of players and has certain elasticity relative to the car that matches the driving rhythm, so at speeds, turns, etc. You will get a chance to see more of this in an upcoming video. So it seems like just like the last newsletter where they've kind of paired the letter with the video after, we might actually be getting another video at the end of this month, I'd like to say, probably paired up with the playtest. But anyways, continuing on, as for the other cameras, there's also an interior view for total immersion. The dashboard view appreciated by players at the wheel and is located at the steering wheel, which therefore disappears. So if you guys don't remember, that camera with no steering wheel and you're just on the dashboard, that is a view into TDSC. And then the traditional bonnet view, the bumper view close to the road, that enhances the effect of speed. So that's pretty cool. Those are all the cameras that are going to be in the game. Moving on though, we have FRIM. Now they kind of went over this, I want to say in the second newsletter if I remember correctly, but anyways, let's take a look at what they have to go now that they're going in detail about it. So the FRIM free ride instant money system is back. Making money by completing different activities is one thing, making it by driving with style and skill is another. So initially introduced in Test Drive Unlimited 2, this feature lets you earn cash in an open world by adopting more player-oriented way of driving. Your control and agility enable you to continually earn credits, ideal for when you're starting out in a Hong Kong island or to fasten your wallet when you want to buy your next car. The principle is simple. Complete a series of different achievements to raise your FRIM bar and add jackpot you can win. Once you think your score is high enough, you can cash it, and these are a few of the achievements you can complete. So we have high speed, overtaking in extremes, wrong way, drift, good driving, and many more. Now completing different achievements increases your FRIM, so the potential jackpot also increases. But mind you cash in at the right time. An accident or a stopped car halts your FRIM gauge and sends your potential earnings back down to zero, so don't get greedy. Pretty cool. And then last but not least, which some of you guys are probably more hyped about, the new playtest. Yes, the second playtest is now coming. And to read about this, it does say, finally, to end the Solo Club newsletter, we're pleased to announce that we're setting up playtest number 2 starting on October 27th. The purpose of the new playtest is to test the game servers, especially for simultaneous connection peaks. Just like the playtest number 1, the playtest will be on PC only and governed by rules of a strict confidentiality. So that means sharing and streaming are not allowed, and you must sign an NDA to gain access. Which, by the way, honestly, considering there was literally like next to 0 leaks of this game from the last playtest, it's pretty crazy. I'm wondering if the same thing's gonna happen for this one. I hope so, because guys, don't forget, leaking games early is never really going to go well. People almost always are going to pick and play at a game that's in an early build. Now this doesn't say beta, so I want to assume they're still in alpha, although maybe depending on how this one goes, they say that they can move on to beta and then that's it. Moving on, members who took part in playtest number 1 can participate in this test as well. So if you already did it, you're still in automatically. You don't need to re-register, and you will automatically be considered a candidate for playtest number 2. Now, new registrations will be accepted from form via the newsletter registration page on testdriveunlimited.com. I'll leave that link in the description below for you guys to go ahead and check out, so you can go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. And for those who are new to the newsletter, a playtest registration form will be shared in the coming days before the NDA is sent out to those participants who will meet the playtest access conditions. And let's quickly take a look at the new screenshots that we've gotten provided to us, guys. Well, first off, I think we all know where exactly this is on Hong Kong Island. This is the Aberdeen Tunnel, which gets you from north to south of Hong Kong Island. It's pretty much in the center of it, and I do want to point out the lighting upgrades that the KT engine has gotten, guys. This is massively different from when I first saw this way back in June. And this is what it looks like in real life. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a night picture, but you guys can get the gist of it. It's just about exactly the same. There's that same divider there in the middle, the two tunnels on the left and the right, and then obviously the massive mountain with the trees surrounding it. So that's that in Hong Kong Island. And another thing that you might notice is if you zoom in right here, there looks to be a gas station top. I mean, you can kind of see the prices there and the sign. So it looks like there's a gas station right there that we can stop by. But I mean, come on. This looks pretty sick. The next one that we have here, we have the BMW i8, which if I remember correctly, this is near the Tai Tam Tuk Reservoir located on Hong Kong Island. Of course, this is one of the dams, which you can kind of see in the background. There's some water there. Another great picture. The lighting looks quite good in terms of its improvement so far. And then if we move on, take a look at this interior shot for TDSC. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. First off, you see the parking brake on the dashboard showing up, the indicators, the lights there as well. And then most notably, the hybrid icon in the bottom corner. This is what I was saying, guys. For vehicles that have it, you can actually drain your battery and have the car actually react to the hybrid system. And on top of that, interior lighting. Has anyone taken that in? The interior lighting shows up in this car, man. It's nice to see the improvements on this game, and I can't wait to see what it looks like come launch, guys. Those are the screenshots that we've gotten so far. So that is the letter we have for this month, guys. Unfortunately, again, it did come late. Nacon, I do hope you guys, get more on a consistent tone, especially as we're getting closer to launch. But anyways, as I was saying, in the background, I'm going to share some extra gameplay for you guys of the Mustang driving along on the sunset. You can see the lighting has actually improved, and I think I really want to do a video covering if TDSC has improved so far in terms of physics, lighting, and everything, because they're on the right track. Honestly, looking for what we've seen so far, they're on the right track, and I'm hoping that they can get this game feature packed at launch, and the post-launch content is not only consistent but also bangers each time, because a TDU game, that's what we kind of need. But let me know your thoughts on this newsletter in the comment section below, guys. And that's all I have to say for this video. Check out on this side of the screen if you want to see more TDUSC content. You already know what it is. I'm Alex7, and I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out, guys. Peace.